Hey everyone, my name's Juliana and this is Juliana Talks Films, the channel where I explore and examine films and filmmakers. If you love films and filmmaking, consider subscribing for weekly videos. So today I wanted to take a beat and look back at some of the films from 2019 that we might have missed. Although these films aren't necessarily blockbuster tentpoles, they are undoubtedly original in their own way and deserve some kind of recognition. This list is in no particular order and includes films within the documentary and narrative fiction spaces. Also, be sure to check the description below for a full list of all the films, their trailers, and some potential links to the full-length feature films. So before we get started, I want to hear from you guys. Were there any films that dropped in 2019 that went completely under the radar but that you thought were magnificent? Leave me a comment below and let me know. I definitely want to check those films out. Alright, and so with that, here is my take on the top 2019 films you might have missed. Number 1, The Farewell.
Honeyland is dying.
She doesn't know, so you can't say anything. The family thinks it's better not to tell her.
Why is that better? Chinese people have saying, when people get cancer, they die.
The Farewell follows a Chinese family who learns their grandmother has only a short while left to live, but decide not to tell her. Instead, they schedule a family gathering so they can all be together one last time before she dies. The film is based on writer-director Lulu Wang's life experiences, which she first discussed on the podcast This American Life. The film premiered at Sundance before being released in theaters in July. It's available for streaming on Amazon, Google Play, and iTunes. Number 2, Peanut Butter Falcon.
Be friends, embodied, bro dogs, and chill. Have a good time.
Peanut Butter Falcon follows a young man with Down syndrome who escapes from an assisted living facility and befriends a fisherman on the run. As the two men form a rapid bond, a social worker attempts to track them down. The film premiered at South by Southwest and had a limited theatrical run in the summer. Number 3, Monos. Monos follows a group of guerrilla soldiers on a remote Colombian mountaintop as they perform military training and watch over a war prisoner and a milch cow. It won the World Cinema Dramatic Special Jury Award at Sundance and was selected as the official Colombian entry for the Best International Feature Film for this year's Academy Awards. Number 4, The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
What if it's empty? What if we just peeked inside?
The Last Black Man in San Francisco centers on the efforts of an African-American man, Jimmy, as he tries to reclaim his family and childhood home in San Francisco's Fillmore district. The film was released at Sundance and won awards for Best Directing and a special jury prize for creative collaboration. The film is currently available to stream on Hulu. Number 5, The Lighthouse.
How long have we been on this rock? 5 weeks? 2 days? Help me to recollect.
The Lighthouse follows two innkeepers who start to lose their sanity when a storm strands them on a remote island where they're stationed. It made its debut at Cannes and was critically recognized for its technical structure, performances, and story. Number 6, Little Monsters.
We're all gonna die.
Are we gonna die, Miss Caroline?
No, it's part of the game. The zombies are not real.
Not to be confused with the 1989 black comedy, This Little Monsters is a zombie movie centered on a washed-up musician and a kindergarten teacher who team up to protect a group of school children during a sudden zombie outbreak. It had its world premiere at Sundance earlier this year and is currently streaming on Hulu.
How do you like it, huh?
Number 7, Gloria Bell.
Yes. No, not a lot. I mean, sometimes.
What's your name?
Gloria.
And I don't know if
Gloria Bell follows Gloria, a midlife divorcee trying to navigate and rediscover her personal identity outside of being a mother and wife. The film stars Julianne Moore and actually premiered at the 2018 Toronto Film Festival, but then had a short theatrical run beginning in March of 2019. The film is an English remake of the original Chilean drama Gloria, both of which were directed by Sebastián Lello. Number 8, Is Purest White. The film originally debuted at the 2018 Cannes Festival and had a very limited theatrical release in the US during March of 2019. Is Purest White follows Kiao, the girlfriend of a mobster, during the rapid industrial expansion of China in the early 21st century. The film follows the characters through the span of almost 2 decades as they go through various stages of life and come to terms with the choices and self-sacrifices they made. Number 9. High Life.
Refuse that didn't fit into the system. Until someone had the bright idea of recycling us to serve science.
This sci-fi film focuses on a group of criminals who are sent on a space mission to a black hole. The group is tasked to harvest power from the black hole while taking part in scientific experiments during their journey. Needless to say, things go horribly wrong along the way. High Life had its world premiere at TIFF in 2018 and went on to have a limited theatrical run in the US in April 2019. Number 10. Her Smell.
Your mother, she's a deadbeat, a person, a persona.
Her Smell is the story of an unstable artist and singer as her irrational behavior breaks apart her career and relationships. The story follows the protagonist on a journey through sobriety and redemption in the span of several years. It had its world premiere at TIFF and played at a number of film festivals before having its theatrical release in April 2019. The film is now streaming on Amazon and iTunes. Number 11. Rafiki.
You're just a typical Kenyan girl.
The film showcases a romance that grows between 2 young women, Kenna and Kiki, amid family and political pressures. The women are forced to conceal their relationship due to the legal restrictions of their country and the political rivalry between their families. The film sheds light on LGBTQ+ rights in other parts of the world not normally seen. It premiered at Cannes and had a limited theatrical run in the US. Number 12. The Biggest Little Farm.
Different. Plants, wildlife, livestock, all working together.
This inspiring documentary follows married couples as they purchase a depleted farmland and begin to replenish and restore it into a fruitful oasis. If you've ever dreamed of going off the grid and having your own farm, this film's for you. It made its debut at the Telluride Film Festival in 2018 before showing at a number of other festivals and finally having a limited theatrical release in 2019. Number 13. American Woman.
We have a photo in all of our patrol cars. If she's out there, we're gonna find her.
This is a mother's worst nightmare.
Set in small-town America, the film follows Deborah as she navigates hardships and trauma after her teenage daughter goes missing. Over the span of a decade, she's forced to deal with the aftermath of the disappearance and raise her grandson in the process. The film had a short theatrical run in the summer and is currently available on Amazon, iTunes, and Vudu. Number 14. Honeyland. Honeyland chronicles the life of a remote beekeeper, Haditse, in North Macedonia, a country nestled in Southeast Europe. When Haditse is forced to share her land with a reckless amateur beekeeper, she must reclaim her space and restore balance to the delicate cycle of the bees' lives. The documentary won 3 awards at Sundance and was North Macedonia's official entry for the Best International Feature Film at the 92nd Academy Awards. Number 15. The Cave.
جيب شخص بتقول بتصير إدارة منيحة بتمشي.
طيارة طالعة تقدم معلومات قدم لخبط.
The Cave takes us into one of the only remaining hospitals left in Syria, an underground operation for the remaining civilians in the city. The film follows hospital manager, pediatrician, and physician Dr. Amani Balor as she balances caring for her patients and the ever-looming threats of bombardments, chronic supply shortages, and potential chemical attacks. Number 16. The Death of Dick Long.
You motherfuckers wanna get weird?
Damn, dude.
How you doing back there, Dick?
Fucking close enough.
With a title like that, I'm sure you're just as curious about this film as I was. The Death of Dick Long follows 2 small-town friends as they try hiding their involvement in their other friend, Dick's Death. This absurdist dark comedy premiered at Sundance and had a limited theatrical run in September of 2019. Number 17, Greener Grass.
Wrong husband.
No, sit down. Lisa, you kiss like your friend.
She's so cute. Lisa, do you want her? Are you sure? Take her. She's yours now. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
This Pleasant Vale meets Stepford Wives film is equal parts funny, bizarre, and ludicrous. Greener Grass follows housewife Jill as she attempts to keep up with her suburban life appearance, all the while suppressing a mental breakdown. The film's been making its run through the film festival circuit and is pending its release via streaming platforms. Number 18, Waves.
It's been hard, hasn't it?
Let go of a prayer for you.
How you doing with everything?
I'm good. Just a sweet word.
You know it's okay if you're not.
The table is...
This touching family drama shows how passion can sometimes lead to destruction. Following a young family in Florida, the characters are forced to confront their flaws and ultimately rebuild their strained relationships after their son commits a fatal crime. The film was released in theaters on October 2019 and is pending to be released via streaming services. Number 19, One Child Nation.
In an effort to protect its people from starvation, China has enacted a policy limiting families to just one child.
One Child Nation examines China's one-child policy, which was in effect from 1979 to 2015. Through a series of in-depth interviews, the documentary uncovers the hidden consequences the policy had on its citizens and country. The film is currently available to stream on Amazon. And number 20, Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Il pense que vous êtes une compagne de promenade pour quelques jours.
This French film follows professional 18th century painter Marianne as she attempts to capture the beauty and essence of her subject Eloise without her knowing. It's an intimate yet simple love story that completely captivates the soul. Portrait of a Lady on Fire is currently playing in theaters and is pending its streaming release date. And as a bonus, here are 10 other films you might have missed in 2019.
Today used to be a General Motors plant, and now there are over 1,000 employees working here.
Nothing in America has changed in terms of working people working hard. What changed in America was rich people deciding they wanted to rewrite the rules to take advantage of people.
He who dies with the most toys wins. You can go out there and try to get a pretty dress, but it don't mean nothing if you're gonna lose your soul.
These young people don't believe a goddamn word I'm preaching up there on that stage, and I know it.
No toys get you into heaven. It's the friendships that you have. It's the kindness that you do. Did you clothe me when I was naked? Did you give me housing when I had no place to live? Did you feed me when I was hungry? Did you give me water to drink when I was thirsty?
You're not gonna believe this woman. She has a deep German accent and she talks about sex. And I think we should do something with her.
In the early 80s, people did not talk about sexuality.
We didn't think it would explode like it did.
And then, of course, she got her own television shows.
Ada xale góor yi dem na lan xale góor yi dem nañ géej jël nañu gaal Souleymane Cheikh ñoom ñëpp dem nañ.
Sama.
سما عملت هالفيلم مشانك. بدي إياك تفهمي شو اللي كنا عم نقاتل مشانه.
Querida irmã, descobriu que é ser uma mulher sozinha nesse mundo. Não perco a esperança de que você volte ao Brasil e que nos encontraremos. Por favor, não se esqueça de mim.
Sube el espejo, papá.
Ya llevamos 3 días que no trabajamos, güey. Acá llega una ambulancia.
Oye, güey, o sea que no se dejaron cobrar, ¿o qué pedo?
Yo te agradezco mucho. No traigo dinero.
Du musst wissen, meine Freundin hat eine ganz besondere Begabung.
The idea was to put a tour up. We should be playing 20,000 seaters. But instead, he wanted all these small venues.
Sure hope we get to Boston on time.
Where you been?
The tour was a catastrophe.
Where you been?
It wasn't a success. Not if you measure success in terms of profit.
Bir sürü borç çıktı yine, haberin oldu mu?
Her geldiğimde borçlu olduğum birileri yolumu kesiyor. Kendi bataklığına bizi de çekiyorsun, farkında değil misin?
So even though 2019 wasn't my most favorite year, there were definitely some incredible films that came out of it. Did you watch any of the films on this list, or were there any other films that you recommend us watching? Leave me a comment below and let me know. As always guys, it's been an absolute pleasure and I look forward to seeing you all again in the next one.